Good evening, everyone. Thank you for joining us electronically. Member Gallant, you can hear us? Very good. So for the Municipal Planning Commission this evening, June 16th, it is 5:02, and I will call the meeting to order. We do have a couple of items on our agenda this evening. So we had an opportunity to review. Any questions or concerns? Member Gullickson.
Thank you, Chair Creasy. I'll move the agenda as presented.
As presented, thank you. Anything from anyone else? All those in favor? That is unanimous, therefore approved. Our minutes from June 2nd. You all had an opportunity to have a review of them. Is there any corrections, revisions? Anything that we need to go through?
To accept.
Member Nowichin?
Move to accept the minutes from June 2nd.
As presented? Very well, thank you. Anyone else? All those in favor? Thank you, unanimous. And on to our business for this evening. First item up, item 4.1 for a liquor retail development. The application there, could you walk us through that one, Development Officer Kirk?
So administration has received an application requesting approval to locate a liquor store at number 4, 4041 63rd Avenue, so up by the airport. Neighboring property consultations were required, so we sent out 10. At the time of writing the report, 1 response was received in opposition and 1 response was received in support. The comment received in opposition to the application noted that Lacombe has plenty of liquor stores already and that they are not in favor of another one, especially so close to a residential development. In analysis, a liquor store is listed as a discretionary use within the C2 district and therefore requires approval of the Municipal Planning Commission. The purpose of the C2 district is to provide an area for pedestrian-oriented commercial uses and activities within a residential neighborhood. The original development permit for the construction of the multi-tenant lease bay building required 6 parking stalls per lease bay. There are 6 bays located within the building. Therefore, the site has 36 parking spaces located on site. Staff is of the opinion that there's sufficient on-site parking for the proposed use. And the recommendations of Planning and Development Services is of the opinion that there will be minimal impact to adjacent landowners given the sufficient parking located on site and given the purpose of the C2 district, and recommends approval subject to the 8 conditions.
Thank you very much, Ms. Kirk. So always interesting to have input. In this particular case, I can't say that I necessarily disagree that there are plenty of liquor stores in Lacombe. That may be true. There are several. That's fine, but I mean, it's really not the process or the purview of this board to determine what quantity of businesses are enough. Just the fact that they are eligible to be located. Here's the item that's really before us. As much as I empathize with someone that feels that it's too close to a residential area, I'm just trying to run through my mind the several other locations within the city where we do have liquor stores that are, I think, probably closer to residential areas than this one is.
Yeah, but it's as close anyway.
Or at least as close. So I don't know. It's kind of a difficult thing to work off of. Does anyone have anything that they would like to add? Member Gullickson?
Thank you, Mayor Creasy. I'll move that the Municipal Planning Commission approve a liquor store to be located at number 4, 4041 63rd Avenue, lot 25, block 3, plan 1820543, zone C2, neighborhood commercial district, with the following 8 conditions.
Thank you. I cannot read the individuals on our screen that are joining us electronically. Do we have the proponent or a representative of the proponent with us that wishes to be heard, or no?
I don't think so. They did indicate that they most likely would not be able to attend tonight.
I don't see any hands waving in there or anything, so we'll proceed. Does anyone from the commission have any additional comments or concerns? Seeing none, I think we will call for the vote then. The motion before us, all those in favor? And I see none opposed, that is approved unanimously. And do we have development officers to come with us? Okay, I can't see the names up there, so the next item, item 4.2, for a drive-through restaurant on 45th Street. Officer Chappelle, the floor is yours.
Thank you for that. Good afternoon, everybody. An application has been received for Lacombe Centre Mall revitalization project to improve the overall appearance of the mall itself, as well as bring new businesses to Lacombe. The proposed revitalization would result in added building floor space, on-site landscaping, internal pedestrian circulation, and relocated access to 45th Street and upgraded parking lot in the east central portion of the site. A relaxation of the required amount of parking for the portion of the site where the proposed changes occur is also involved. The site is located at 5230 45th Street and 5230 45th Street. Both parcels are zoned CS, Shopping Center District, and are part of the auto-oriented downtown Gateway District overlay. This application is one of a series of development permit applications to revitalize the property over the next 1 to 2 years. Separate applications are expected for the building elevation changes of the main mall building and another drive-through restaurant. Neighboring property consultations were sent out to 42 adjacent landowners. At the time of writing this report, 2 responses were received in support of the application. One expressed hopes of seeing both a Walmart and a Canadian Tire in the future, and the other noted that the proposed development would benefit the local economy. Administration is approaching this development approval for the Lacombe Centre Mall as a series of development permits. This concentrates on the immediate needs of the applicant to obtain approval for phases that are subject to different construction schedules and agreements. This development permit focuses on the development of the first of 2 drive-through restaurants, temporary relocation of the existing ice cream parlor, relocation of the access off of 45th Street, and the resulting changes to landscaping, pedestrian circulation, and parking. The proposed location of the new drive-through restaurant meets the C5 district requirements, and the proposed building height also meets the C5 district requirements. Addition of this new drive-through with up to possibly 40 seats increases the parking needs of the site by 10 spaces. As the proposed drive-through would overlie existing parking spaces, the result is a net loss in overall parking. Relocation of the existing ice cream parlor would have the same effect. The site plan shows that 88 parking spaces are currently available in the subject area. Introducing a new restaurant, which adds a need for an additional 10 parking spaces, brings the parking requirement to a total of 98 spaces. With the new development footprints of the drive-through development and the relocation of the ice cream parlor to this portion of the site is left with 39 parking spaces. This is a deficit of 59 parking spaces, resulting in the need for a 60% variance to the required parking on this portion of the site. That is, the proposed development suggests accommodation for 40% of the land use bylaw parking requirement. The decision to grant a variance is subject to Municipal Planning Commission approval. The decision to grant a variance is subject to Municipal Planning Commission being satisfied that the proposed development would, 1, would not unduly interfere with the amenities of the neighborhood. 2, would not materially interfere with or affect the use, enjoyment, or value of the neighboring parcels of land. And 3, conforms to the use prescribed for the subject parcel in the land use bylaw. The amenities of the neighborhood are characterized by multi-tenant and standalone commercial buildings close to the highway and or major travel routes, and primarily accessed by customers by motor vehicle. In this regard, the proposed development does not detract from these amenities and characteristics and retains the same amenities. The potential for spillover parking onto adjacent public streets and private parking lots is aspect most likely to impact the use, enjoyment, or value of neighboring parcels of land. An incident of spillover would occur in the event that the combined parking related to the proposed development and the existing uses on the Lacombe Centre Mall site exceeds the overall supply of parking spaces on site. A review of aerial images from 2012, 2017, and 2020 shows that much of the current parking lot area on the mall site was not used on the day the photo was taken. Additionally, most of the parking was in the west portion of the parking area, which is largely west of the area covered in this application. The detailed information from each, well, we don't need to get into what day of the week it was, but I don't know if you can see, I'm sharing some aerial images of the parking. If everyone's able to see that on the screen. As there are roughly 250 to 260 parking spaces currently available on the mall site, and approximately 25 to 40% of the spaces are being used on average, based on these 3 air photos. Staff is of the opinion that the 200 parking spaces that would be on site if the proposed development was approved are sufficient to avoid a spillover. Finally, the proposed use of a drive-through restaurant is an allowable use under the C5 shopping center district. Staff support the requested variance to the required number of parking spaces, as the existing parking lot is underutilized and the proposed changes contribute to the revitalization objectives set out in the auto-oriented gateway district. It is anticipated that further revitalization may have a similar impact on parking. Any variance requests for future development permit applications will be addressed on their merits. There is a little bit of bicycle parking required. That would be 1 space for the drive-through restaurant. With respect to landscaping for this portion of the parcel, 13% of the delineated area is available for grass, trees, and shrubs. A minimum of 10% of any C5 lot should be landscaped. Therefore, staff is satisfied with the proposed site plan and will work with the developer to confirm appropriate species of deciduous and trees and shrubs, deciduous and coniferous trees and shrubs, as well as the planting densities through improved landscaping plan to be submitted prior to building issuance. With respect to relocating the ice cream parlor, any building greater than 23.22 square meters requires a permit to relocate. Separate permits will be required for demolition or removal of the ice cream parlor off the site. Plans submitted indicate a southward shift of approximately 30 meters south of the 84 square meter ice cream parlor's current location. This would bring it to a setback of approximately 1 meter from the south property boundary. Although C5 parcels require 3 meters setback, this property to the south is considered part of the overall development. 5230 45th Street and 5250 45th Street should be consolidated into one parcel through plan of survey or descriptive plan in the future. Relocation of this building will also require temporary services to be extended southward to the new footprint area. The city will work with the applicant in arriving at agreed upon servicing plan for the site. With regard to access and overall site improvements, the existing access to 45th Street is about 27.76 meters in width. In order for the site to accommodate the new drive-through restaurant, this access will have to be closed in order to allow for a safe queuing aisle for the new restaurant and improved aisle for the existing one, the Tasty Bites. The proposed new access, located approximately 24 meters north of the existing access, would need to be acceptable to the city's engineering department. The sidewalk, I have some formatting issues in my report here, I apologize. We're anticipating a sidewalk to appear as a condition of approval in possibly a future permit that would run along the eastern property boundary, north-south along 45th Street. Moving the access north on 45th Street is also expected to improve traffic flow on 45th Street by pulling the mall access farther from the intersection of 45th Street and Highway 2A. It also increases the separation from the mall access and the Dairy Queen on the east side of 45th Street. With respect to the downtown area redevelopment plan, DARP, this is part of the auto-oriented downtown gateway district. The purpose of that overlay is to regulate the development of major additions and infill development for commercial uses in a manner that ensures compatibility with adjacent properties. As a gateway transition area into Lacombe's historic downtown, large volumes of vehicular traffic can be expected. For this reason, staff is in support of the drive-through styled restaurant. Aspects of the overall site design are in alignment with the overlay's recommendations, whereby the parking bays are divided by medians and there are no long rows of parking spaces. The proposed building elevations for the drive-through restaurant use a variety of materials and colors and piers to create a visually interesting building appearance. Staff is of the opinion that the proposed site improvements will establish a positive visual impression of the site along the Highway 2A corridor. Staff support the application and recommends approval of the proposed development, included the requested variance in parking subject to 34 conditions.
Thank you. I assume you're completed?
I am completed, yes.
Thanks, Crystal, appreciate it. And do we have any representative of the proponent with us as well or no?
Yes, my name's Murray Cunningham. I'm here if you can hear me.
Thank you, Murray. I assumed you would be here, but our pictures are so there that's increased. Okay, now I can see you. Very good. Welcome. Thank you for joining us. This is a bit of a different project for MPC to consider, given that any potential impacts to the enjoyment of property and neighboring are all contained basically within the property. So I appreciate you going through this process with us and whatnot as we determine the viability of the application. However, this is, I think, an extremely high-profile project for the city of Lacombe, and I think one that's welcomed by an overwhelming majority of our citizens. So I think that it said so publicly at the unveiling a few weeks ago, but I will say it again this evening. Thank you for being a part of this project and taking it on for the owners. I certainly appreciate it, and I basically wanted to give you a chance to speak if you so choose to. There are a substantial quantity of items here for your consideration. I believe there are some 34 conditions. Was there any of those that are of particular concern to you at this time?
Thanks, Mayor Creasy. Can everyone hear me okay?
Yes.
Okay, so yeah, we've been working closely with Crystal and the development team to get to this point. Just appreciate the collaboration and the feedback to sort of work on this together to move it forward. I realize there's some challenges to move this project forward, but the benefit, as you say, is is really a significant upgrade to an important piece of the city. So I've reviewed all of the documents that we've been sent. I didn't really see, I guess I was trying to look at the 34, trying to look for that when Crystal mentioned that. A lot of those, when I look through the plan regarding fire safety plan, building permit, all those types of things, those are all standard type conditions that we would expect and welcome. The sidewalk is a question that that we should talk about with the sort of the next application that'll look at the overall site. So I'm not too worried about that today. What we're trying to do, I'm not sure who's in control of the screen, but if you could zoom out maybe to the larger site plan, please. What we're trying to do with the overall site is to create a bit of a pedestrian thoroughfare. As you can see from the existing site, it's kind of a pavement wasteland right now. And so we're trying to create a bit of a pedestrian thoroughfare through the center of the site, which would be on the west side of the Tasty Bite and the KFC along there, something that's really shows to drive pedestrian traffic and then connects it across to the main mall and the other buildings. So we're not opposed to adding a sidewalk along 45th. It's an additional cost, but we're making an effort to bring pedestrians into the site and sort of work along that front. So, but we can get to that. The rest of the conditions, I read through them. I don't have any concerns. I think we'll have to come up with something innovative if we look at rooftop screening, because we want to match sort of what the brand that we're trying to get and provide for KFC, as well as do something that fits into the rest of the mall for that specific building. So, but the rest of them I didn't have any concerns with, and we're hoping for a successful application here so that we can continue to move forward with the city and with our plans to move forward with the project.
Thank you. Member Gullickson?
Thank you, Chair Creasy. I hope the parking lot is full and there's no spaces available. I mean, that's the goal is here, right? Even with this reduced parking, I don't think it's going to be an issue, but if we did have overflow parking, I think that would be a huge success and show that the mall is successful and being used the way it should be. So I have no issues with this reduction in parking. I look at this as a major addition and a great project for our community.
Member Nowchin?
I don't have any issues. I'm very pro for this project to go through. It's going to be a huge benefit for Lacombe. The one issue that I did notice that may or may not be up for discussion is the design of the KFC plot. It's very bottlenecked, and I did a review of probably more than a dozen fast food restaurants from the aerial view. And it would by far be the tiniest, most inconvenient parking situation of any fast food I could find. The parking stalls that are located on the property would be very difficult to navigate. And it's not that there's an issue lacking parking, I don't think. It's just a matter of it's wasted space because maybe like I can park my 20-foot truck in there, not a chance. I think you'd have to drive a smart car to be able to park in that last stall. It's cumbersome.
And I think that that's fair comment if we consider the immediate parking space. It's a little unusual situation given that it's part of a larger area that is immediately adjoining, but I think that is.
Yeah, and that's what makes this, my feelings on it's a little difficult because it's not that there's a lack of parking. It's just, it feels like what is there in the design feels very wasteful. Probably used a lot of potentially good parking to meet maybe bylaw requirements for landscaping and such. I'm not sure the thought there, but.
Mr. Cunningham, I was curious, I don't recall seeing a floor plan. Is this KFC outlet intended to be primarily a drive-through restaurant, or is there some dine-in as well? And if so, what capacity?
A good question. So what we've seen over the years with these quick serve restaurants is they have gone to more takeout, whether it's pickup or whether it's like skip the dishes or things like that. And so they're moving to a smaller dine-in restaurant space. So this does have a dine-in restaurant space. I don't have the seat counts off the top of my head, but probably only a quarter of the restaurant at the front is seating. And then there's the space for I just trying to recall from the fixturing plan that our team is working on with KFC. And so there isn't a lot of room at the front, but there'll be seating. There'll be seating there for people, and I can certainly provide that if you'd like. So what we're looking for, though, when we do these site plans is sort of to meet the standards that these tenants are looking for, right? Sort of in terms of what they want for access, what they want for how materials come in, how people move around the drive-through, how people come in, and so they've got standards and brands that they work on as they update these over the years. So they're quite comfortable with the plan and had a lot of comments in terms of our development on it. And so that's kind of how we settled on the layout and the workings of the site. And just to answer the question on the larger truck, I agree. It'll be a tight site to get a truck into, but there will be lots of other parking that's nearby, essentially across what you'd call the drive aisle or next door for larger vehicles. That is part of the property as well. So, and that's the intent.
Thank you for that. I mean, that really was the reason why I asked that. I'm not interested in an exact count that you had suggested, but it appears to me that they are leaning more towards drive-through capacity, and I do kind of like the way that the drive-through portion works, and I see that as being important. As Member Nauchin had suggested, parking is pretty much always an issue with any development, and something that we like to look at closely. I am thankful that there is lots of adjacent parking and whatnot, and myself, I'm satisfied that the drive-through portion is very well done, and hopefully people that use this location will be able to find parking to suit whatever vehicle they're in, but certainly fair comments, I think. Member Glant, anything that you would care to add?
No, I agree with everyone's comments. I think it's going to be a great addition to Lacombe. And you're right. I mean, parking is always seems to be the main topic when we're talking about development. But you know what? I think the gain far outweighs, any, minimal frustration with access. So I think it's going to be good.
I'm ready to make that.
I don't believe that we have it on the floor yet.
So I'll move that we resolve that the Municipal Planning Commission approve the drive-through restaurant with a 60% variance of the required parking, reduced by 59 parking spaces, as well as the on-site relocation of an existing ice cream parlor and an access reconfiguration to be located at 5250 45th Street, Block C, Plan RN 1A, Zoned C5, Shopping Central District, and part of the auto-orientated Downtown Gateway District, 34 condition.
Did everyone hear that, or would you like Member Gullickson to repeat it?
Member Gullickson will not repeat it.
I'm just giving you a hard time. No, that's good. Very good. Are there any further comments before we vote? Very good. All those in favor? And that is unanimous. Mr. Cunningham, we wish you all the best with this project, and we look forward to construction commencement. Do we have any indication when that could possibly be, or is that premature at this time?
Well, we really appreciate the support of the city of Lacombe and this commission, and appreciate the work that has been done with the city's development department, and look forward to working with the building permit officials to move it forward as well. So there are some relocations and movement inside the mall that we have to work out. We're hoping to be at the site, and then of course we need permits and all those types of things for buildings as we go forward. So we're hoping to be at the site, last week of June, first week of July, around then, to start moving things around, getting oriented, getting organized, put up some signs, that type of thing. And just want to say I appreciate the support that we're getting for this. Seeing some interesting comments on social media from people about about the project, guessing what some is going to happen with other buildings. But so a lot of things to move around and get done to organize, but appreciate everybody's support and work on it so far. So thank you.
Well, thank you very much. That sounds like an aggressive timeline. Just for the record, that is 2021, the end of June, isn't it?
We have a lot of little things to do before we can start building things. As you know, the mall isn't in great shape. So we have a few things to fix.
Just trying to put you on the spot. That's very good. It's not part of this process, but thank you for joining us. We appreciate it. Look forward to some positive outcomes and enhancing our city. So thank you very much.
Sounds good. Thank you.
All right. So our next MPC meeting is for July 7th, and I believe there is currently at least one application that will be yours, so everyone can be pretty confident that that meeting will be required if you choose to add that to your calendars. Same time and place here. Is there anything further in conclusion? If not, we could have a motion.
Move to adjourn.
Very good. It is 5:34. The motion to adjourn has been made. All those in favor? Unanimous. Thank you very much. Appreciate it, everyone. Have a great evening. Hopefully we don't get
Not too hard.
too nasty weather this evening.
I agree with you on that parking.